And I got to say, it's an emotional day for me. I mean, I started on this 25 years ago. I've gotten nowhere since then, nowhere. I can remember approaching, at that time, the chairman of the committee. All members of the committee had signed a letter saying, we want this bill, and we want your signature. And that particular person happened to be presiding at the time. I went up to him as a freshman minus 10 and was pitched off the presiding officer's platform with a few epithets. Didn't make any difference. It was all part of the strategy to keep the pressure on and keep moving forward. So today, this committee will mark up the Bipartisan Surface Transportation Board Reauthorization Act 2009. My colleagues know that I firmly believe this is enormously significant. I believe that when it comes to surface transportation, we must successfully promote the efficient movement of goods. And in order to do this, we must prepare our railroads to meet the challenges of the 21st century. This is a bill which says to the railroads, you're not going to get everything you want, but I really believe in your future. I think railroads they're the cleanest, fastest, most efficient way to move people, products, goods, all kinds of things. They have an unlimited future. I also said to the shippers, you have been suffering for years and years and years, but you're not going to get everything you want. And we came to an agreement. People still talk about tweaking. I don't like the word tweaking, but people talk about tweaking, and that can happen. But basically, the bill is laid down and has been agreed to. First, I want to thank Senator Hutchinson, Senator Lautenberg, Senator Thune, Senator Dorgan for their unbelievable work on this bill. I'm going to thank staff even more strongly when I get to that. This has been a very long but extremely productive process requiring patience, tenacity, and a whole lot of goodwill. And I'm deeply indebted to my colleagues for their contributions. I also want to thank the stakeholders on both sides. I really do. It's been tough. It's been very, very tough negotiations. I'm working carefully on the health care bill. I think this is a tougher negotiation than the health care bill. There are fewer issues, but they're so deeply embedded that I think it's a very tough process. So I thank them for their good faith and hard work on this legislation. As I said, I came to this 25 years ago. In West Virginia, coal and chemical shippers mostly were being affected by higher rates if they had only a single line into the plant. And again, I was told that the two biggest cost factors pushing their operations overseas were energy costs and transportation costs. And so now we're finally going to do something about that. So I set out to learn and try to solve the difficult and complicated issues that they were facing, like bottlenecks, revenue adequacy, terminal access. Over the years, along with longtime allies and friends, and I've just got to point right at Byron Dorgan, and frankly, Senator Conrad Burns, who is not well. I think he's still in the hospital, is he not?
He had a stroke.
Yeah, I mean, he's not well, but he has had a tremendous amount to do with this. He cares about it, and I want to recognize him, and I hope he's hearing me. And then many others who worked hard. At different times in this effort, it's been very clear that the committee wasn't ready to change the way the system worked. And that meant a serious discussion with full legislative negotiation and the mutual understanding that comes from it. It never took place for decades. But this year, Senator Hutchinson and I, together with Senators Thune, Lautenberg, Dorgan, set out to change all of that. We decided we were just going to do it. We've worked hard to address shippers' long-standing complaints and to strengthen and reform the Surface Transportation Board, which was in and of itself a problem. But we have been committed to doing so in a way that uses old-fashioned competition and to strengthen the railroad industry. We very much want the railroads to be successful as a critical transportation mode for the 21st century, the fastest, cleanest, most efficient method, as I've indicated. But we believe the playing field must be level. Easily said, hard to do. We've been working day and night for months, particularly the staff, with stakeholders on both sides, back and forth between the two groups, sometimes merging them, but not very often. I think the result is fair and balanced legislation that both works for the parties and is good for our economy. I know that neither side has been getting everything they want in this process, but as an active member of the current health care negotiations, as I just said, I think this is a tougher negotiation than even the health care bill. The reality of any tough legislation is that compromises must be made, but every side needs to stretch and give a bit to make it work, because we know that if we're going to work together, we will make America better and we will make America stronger. That is what the people sent us here to do. That is what we are delivering today. The legislation is about a fair shake for shippers while still protecting the strength and viability of the railroads so American business can stay strong and grow. That means requiring railroads to quote bottleneck rates and set standards for reciprocal switching and terminal access rates. That means allowing parties to challenge existing and future paper barriers, increasing STB scrutiny of future mergers, increasing STB authority generally, and giving the board independent investigative authority. I believe in that, and they have that now. And it means allowing certain complaints to be resolved through binding arbitration, amending the board's simplified rate case processes so that it can be used by more shippers and for larger cases, and setting lower fees for filing complaints, which was a long time complaint in and of itself. Those provisions and many others in this bill work together to increase competition, strengthen the STB's oversight authority, and improve shippers' access to the board. As this bill moves to the floor, I will continue to work with Senator Cole, and I know that Senator Klobuchar will comment on that, and Senators Hutchinson, and also Senator Lautenberg and Senator Thune, Senator Dorgan, to add strong antitrust provisions to our bill. I have long supported repealing the railroad's antitrust exemptions and greater antitrust scrutiny of the rail industry. However, to put that specifically in our bill, would cause the bill to fail. And that is not something that we can tolerate. So I'm proud of the work we have done, and I thank you all for stepping up and creating legislation. I want to thank my colleagues, and I have special words for staff near the end. So I want to send this to President Obama. I finished my statement, and who would like to speak? Senator Dorgan.